Hey, good morning. Good morning, friends. Day two, still here. Yes, I do still want to become president. So, George Sode for president in 2020. We're going to just jump right into it here. I want to make these short, don't want to be too long. I want to keep everybody's attention and keep it simple. So, first order of business that I wrote down on my note sheet here is I want to share where my inspiration came from all this, and it came from a rant on my trip. Came back, had a little bit of frustration dealing at the airport and traveling, which tends to happen. I'm sure everybody's experienced it, but that's basically where I realized I did my first ever political campaign with people that I don't know. And I met two young guys. One guy was 23, one guy was 21. And after going on, having a really long conversation, talking about a whole lot of things, one of them goes, "I'd vote for you," and that is where the light bulb really hit. I know friends have told me this in conversation, but these were two absolutely random people, and I had them floored, man. I mean, we had a really engaging conversation talking about everything, and that's what I like, is to leave people speechless and be like, "Wow, I didn't know that." Inspire people. That inspires me to move on, and that's the kind of president that I want to be. It's kind of what this is all about. If you guys are starting to feel my vibe, maybe you might want to consider supporting the Common Sense Party. That's really what this is about. So, going forward, to respond to some of the comments that were put out, 10-step plan would be the next thing, right? We want to keep this on certain topics that are going to be important to everybody. Obviously, that's a big role. Political topics, educational topics. What else do we have written? Financial topics, global topics, health topics. Those are the kind of ideas that we need to start sharing, brainstorming, getting out to the masses. And for example, political, two-year term limits for Congress. That's a big thing because I think that's going to have a huge impact. We'll talk about that more. Also, spending, financial spending, huge. The global economy, everything affects everybody. And these, again, are some of the bullet points that I want to go on as this develops and I brainstorm more and get more organized. This is going to seem very unorganized the first few times and days, but that's where I'm going to need your help, because that's where one person can't do everything. I would obviously don't have the funds like Donald Trump does to support my own campaign, so this is all grassroots, doing things this way. It's very different, in my opinion, very unorthodox. I've never seen anybody really do this before, and that's what I want to see. I want to be the president who does that, and I hope it's different enough and it gets enough attention and support that people are like, "Hey, you know what, that is kind of different and unique, and that's what I like." So that's where this is all going to continue. If that makes sense to you, then you might want to consider joining the Common Sense Party. I know I'm going to be pretty quick with this because, again, I want to keep them short, but the idea is just keep flowing. So I hope that inspires you guys. Some of the other things that I wrote down here, again, ranting are the things that get our passion going, get our blood boiling. I mean, it might be a negative experience like my trip, but there's always a bright end, there's always a positive message, right? And that's my message. So we got to look through the bad, find the good, change it for the better. Does that make sense? If it does, you might want to consider joining the Common Sense Party. I have a crew that I talk to these guys about. It's called the GSDC. Some of you folks might know it. It's called the Getting Shit Done crew. It's how I like to live. It's how I work in my career. And that's the kind of president that I want to be. If that makes sense to you, you might want to consider joining the Common Sense Party. The help that I'm going to need from you guys is fact-checking. If we do start to make these about specific topics, I think I know certain things, but I don't do all my research. I mean, a lot of people are ignorant. A lot of people just say things. I try to not be like that, and I will own up to things that I say and be held accountable. Accountability is huge. I think our previous administration was not accountable at all for an incredible amount of things. I think that's wrong. There needs to be accountability everywhere. I say that at my job. I say that going to a store and, when we have rants and gripe about things. Again, it's not all negative, but we got to look at things better. It's the perspective, right? It's your attitude. So that's really, again, if you get that idea and that concept, consider supporting the Common Sense Party. Forward this on. Comment, give me ideas. I need to keep the ideas flowing, and we're going to turn this into a big mind map because I think everybody should be involved. One of the things that I told these younger guys was you got to get involved. And they're young. I didn't get as involved as I probably should have with politics. It's a scary thing, but make it fun for yourselves. That's what it's about, is have fun with it and be productive. I want to be positive, productive, and efficient are the things that I like to focus on. And I think if we can implement that in government, then we can move forward. Does that make sense, people? Again, I don't want to be too long. I want to keep these short, a couple minutes for now. This has been the one thing that really scared me, that helped me got my motivation, was that this is an idea that I've been talking about for 5 to 8 years now in the making. And that it really scared me the other day, because I called this, I predicted this. I've been telling people for a long time, well, I'm going to become president in 2020. The youngest president, no political affiliations, no big business affiliations. It's all common sense people, common sense for common people, right? And then as I was a little out of it, because it was jet lagged and not jet lagged, but overly tired, I slept in an airport on this trip, trying to sleep, and I said, hey, wait a minute. We just had a new president, and that's something that I said years ago. I said, when we get this new president, as soon as he's inaugurated, is when I'm gonna start my campaign. And when I thought about it the other day, I said, wow, that's amazing timing. I said to myself out loud, I said, I predicted this. And it was a little scary. So, good scary, if you know what I mean. If you're like that, if you understand that concept, again, it's like-minded people. If you can get at that level, you say, wow, that's interesting, right? Raises eyebrows, and that's what I want to have. I want everybody to be like, wow, I didn't know that. These guys that I was rapping with, I think something that would blow my mind is if this comes full circle, if this gets reached out to everybody, and everybody says, hey, yeah, that makes sense, I'm going to vote for him. And it comes back to that kid that I met in the airport who says, I'll vote for you. He was the first person ever, not a friend of mine, complete strangers, don't know him from Adam. And just me being me, he goes, I'd vote for you. And that's where that motivation, that's where that inspiration came from. So keep me positive, keep me motivated, help me. Obviously, good ideas are out there. I'm not the only one. I don't know everything. So let's do this. If for anybody who wants to help, I don't know, do whatever you can. For right now, just share it with people. Share the message. Good vibes, again, positive. And I don't know, make a meme or something. Sode for president in 2020. Spread the word. I want this to reach as many people as possible. People in authoritative positions, famous people. I don't know. If you like the idea, try something new. And this is something new that I think will work. I think a grassroots campaign going through Facebook and videos like this is really revolutionary. It's not the same. We don't need to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on a campaign. That blows my mind. It's a waste of money, in my opinion. So let's do this together and just keep it going, okay? I'm going to continue this tomorrow with your support. Thank you for all the feedback. Thank you for the optimism. Again, keep me motivated. Peace, love, God bless.